Welcome back to Team O'Neill. I'm Wyatt. What we're here to talk about today is shuffle steering. Because it is a valuable technique. You know, a lot of people do blow off, shuffle steering, the idea of shuffling the wheel to accomplish higher steering angles, especially at lower speeds. And honestly, it's super practical, and it's something that you should be familiar with and pretty capable at for a lot of different situations. Is it a high speed maneuver? Absolutely not. If you're on the track, you should be able to really keep your hands right at 9 and 3 and do any high speed driving that you need to. When you do end up, at 9 and 3 and your hands start to cross over in front of you, just go hand over hand. And that's kind of the accepted way to do that. For any real high speed driving, this is definitely preferred. There are no really kind of hard and fast rules to shuffle steering. The whole idea is to keep your hands within that realm of 10 and 2, no matter what the steering wheel is doing. And really, you're grabbing with one hand as you slide through the other. So if you needed to, say turn around by shuffle steering, you're passing it from one to the next. And that's really all there is to it. You've got both hands clamped as much as possible, but when that's not possible, you're simply shuffling from one to the other. They're always both right there, so that, again, if you're in a corner and something happens, you're steering through a corner with your hands at that 9 and 3, regardless of where the actual steering wheel is. So if you do try it a little quickly, coming into a corner, braking, shuffle steer your way into it, you've got good hand position mid-corner should you need to respond to something, and then on the exit of the corner, you simply straighten it back out. We see a lot of times, military and police always train shuffle steering. They get really good at shuffle steering, and they will use it sometimes high speed. But realistically, that shuffle steering is all about getting a lot of steering quickly and keeping 2 points of contact with the wheel. If you've ever seen people kind of throwing the wheel or palming the wheel like this, the problem with palming the wheel, or there was a reason they called them suicide knobs, right? It's dangerous, and if there's a rut in the road or a bump or a pothole or you bump into a curb or something like that, it's going to yank the wheel out of your hands, a slippery patch, whatever it might be. It's pretty unpredictable. So that 2 points of contact is crucial, especially off-roading. If you're driving over rocks and logs and roots and things that are pulling at the tires, it's really nice to have both hands. It's the same reasoning behind using it in that, police or tactical military environment. If you're in some kind of a combat situation, or if you're in any situation where you might be bumping into things, it's nice to have both hands on the wheel and in a position where if this airbag is to deploy, you're going to be safe. You would never want to be here when that airbag goes off. So that's where shuffle steering comes into play. And honestly, it's a really good technique, and it's something that everyone should be familiar with. So it's also the easiest, one of the easiest driving skills to practice, because you can do it in any parking lot on, any given day of the week. You can just drive around and get good at shuffle steering, because if you need to do it under stress, if you need to do it in a hurry, if you need to do it at night when you can't see the wheel, you don't want that to be the first time where you're really shuffle steering and needing to be precise with it. It's really kind of handy on tight corners. The key is to start shuffle steering from the get-go. You wouldn't want to come into a corner, turn this much, and then try to start shuffle steering, because it's going to be awkward, and there's going to be a second where you're not going to have good control. And if something happens in that window, you're going to get in trouble, and that's where you're going to have a problem. So recognize that situation, and once you're here, you can start shuffle steering to get around a corner, and then as you exit that corner, kind of shuffle it back. So it does give you good control, but just know, as you preset that wheel into a certain location and you're cornering with your hands at 9 and 3 and the wheel turned, you just need to know where that center point would be again. It's a particularly handy skill to have for backing as well, because when you're in reverse, the problem is that the caster works the wrong way. So you would know, from driving a shopping cart, when you back it up, the wheels flip around because they're casters. You've got the same angle in a car basically. So you've probably felt it before. You back up and turn and it wants to pull the wheel out of your hands. It's really nice to shuffle steer backing up through things if you can, if you're using your mirrors and you can back nicely through something, and you've always got that two hands of contact and at least one hand really clamped, that's going to give you really positive control, backing through traffic or parallel parking or whatever it might be. And again, for that more tactical mindset, if you do bump into something, if you're running over something or popping up onto a curb, you need to have both hands there to avoid losing control of the vehicle essentially. So that's really all I've got for you on shuffle steering. It's a really nice technique to have and be proficient at it, and everyone should practice it and know how to use it accurately. Again, anything high speed, hands at 9 and 3, you've got the best control. Your eyes are way up. You can do what you need to do. It's just the lower speed situations, and low speed situations aren't always low stress situations. From that same law enforcement, military, tactical driving mindset, if you're in a technical environment in a city somewhere and there's a lot of vehicles, whatever you might be doing, you're going to want to be shuffling that steering. Over rough terrain, off-road driving, definitely going to want to be shuffling that steering. So there's a lot of really good uses for it. Hopefully you practice it. Again, it's the safest, easiest driving skill in the world to practice. You can do it every day, leaving your driveway, driving around to the grocery store, whatever you might be doing out there. Get good at shuffle steering. I'm in a gravel road. You could just practice it and just see. Try and do it kind of quickly, but really it's not about high speed. It's about, high control in lower speed, high steering scenarios. And really, hopefully, you don't just discount shuffle steering as old school and something that you'll never use or you don't need, because you should have 5 different ways or more, hopefully, of using the steering wheel for different scenarios. There's a time and a place for everything, and there are a lot of times and a lot of places for shuffle steering. So thank you as always for watching. If you've got any questions on this or anything else kind of car control related, please add them in the comment section and we'll get to those just as quickly as we can. If you're interested in doing some driving yourself, some high speed rally cars, learning car control, doing some off-roading, all kinds of crazy stuff with cars, check out teamoneil.com. We're running courses all year round up here at our campus in New England. If you're into these videos, hit the like, hit the subscribe. We're putting out content, again, just as quick as we can on this stuff. Hopefully we see you up here sometime. Till then, have fun, stay safe, and we'll catch you next time.